show you how to install the new lifts today, how to fit them properly to the foot, and how to use the glue and VetTech wrap to hold everything until the glue sets with the screws as well. So what we normally do is we'll fit one side at a time. Up. Just tilt. Yeah. Okay, now step down. What we do is look to see how much we have to bend the little tabs in on the foot. You can see that it's not can you see where the spacing is here, that the tabs are not against the wall in there. So what we want to do is bend these in so that they are flat against the wall before we start attaching them. And we'll do the same thing on both sides. So I looked at it, so I'll take it off. Usually it's best to use a pair of pliers to bend the tabs in. So we just angle those in where we think we need to go to.
Hang on, look.
Oh, yeah, the doggy's got
Happen. Hit.
Force on them to get them in there, and then we'll test fit him again. Up. All right. Okay, and then you can see that's actually much closer in that, but we'll want it just a hair tighter on the foot to make sure the glue and the screws and everything holds well. So we still have a little space back here, so we're going to bend these in just a hair more. Up you go. Yeah. The steel that the manufacturer used on these is very stiff, and so we actually have to use a little bit of force to get it. It's 304 stainless. That is a little thicker than what we had initially requested, but it actually came out to be a better design. All right, so that one there is nice and fitted, and nice and tight against the hub wall. So now we'll go ahead to the other side. Step down and take a look, and it's the same thing on this side. Got to bend them all in. Okay. All right. And okay, we'll test fit this one more time. All right, we're almost there. Just this one here. A little more, and this one. There we go. That should get us in, but I'm going to make sure that these two don't overlap too much. Okay. Last test fit here, make sure these are all good. Up you go, bud. Oh. All right, that looks good. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna do the epoxy, and what I use is the Equilox stubby. You can get them in different colors, and this is the slower setting. This one takes about 10 to 13 minutes to cure at room temperature. And if you buy the stubby, you're going to want to buy their adapter as well. You can put it in a caulking gun, and but a lot of times you can just do it by hand. And what we do is just squirt some into a mixing cup. And then if you use these stubbies, make sure you clear the outside part of this after you do this, or it will freeze up on you. And then put your lid back on. And the reason I like the Equilox is because it's an acrylic epoxy, and it will bond to everything. And so it will bond to the plastic, steel, and hoof wall. And it's also flexible after it cures. So once we get it mixed up good, with this Equilox, you can also buy they have a special gun that you can get with mixing tips and all that. So if you want to do that, you can do that as well if you're going to be doing a lot of these and that. But just a coating on here just to help adhere this to the hoof wall on here. So what we do is we coat that all, and we go ahead and do both sides. So each start, because it takes 10 to 13 minutes for it to cure. Get this on here. It's a good coat of epoxy. All right, put a little more on the other side just to be on the safe side. Okay, and then get a screw out for each side, and that's just to kind of stick these on and then screw them, hold them in place. And once again, we'll run this by the horse's foot and that to make sure that I already know this horse well, so I'm comfortable sitting in front of him working. If you've got a other horse, you'll want to test it standing off to his side before you run the drill to make sure he doesn't jump on top of you. All right, big fella, here we go. Now we'll put this side on, and we normally, once we got the epoxy on, it's a little slippery and that, so they will kind of slide a little bit when they go to bear weight on, so you have to kind of get everything set and held. Get that up. And this is where everything gets a little bit more tricky. We'll get that first screw in there to help. All right, he's kind of not on the thing here, so we'll just see if I can get one screw in tight to hold this everything in place. There we go. And then now we'll have him lift up and just adjust that back again. There we go. And get this screw in. There we go. Okay, now that one's held on pretty securely. Now we'll go ahead and get the other side on here. There you go, big fella. Step down. There you go, just like that. Now, be good now. Keep your foot right there. Oh, you're slipping. All right, there's one. We're going to have him pick his foot up to make sure we're nice and snug against the hoof wall with this one, because he kind of slid it. There we go. Put your foot down. And it's usually best if you can do these loaded with the horse standing, bearing weight on it. Okay, now we'll put the rest of the screws in, if I can find them all here. And it's usually best to wear rubber gloves when you're doing. You'll have epoxy stuck to you, everything sticks to you, but I ever use gloves when I do this. I just clean them up afterward. And one more screw. Oh, there we go, big guy. Okay, we have the screws in. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and run some VetTech wrap around this until the glue gears kind of holds everything in place. All right, big guy, up you go. And so just take and put it around there nice and snug. And that's all there is to the lift install. And you can just leave the VetTech wrap on until it falls off by itself, or you can wait a couple hours and then take it off. And then we'll let these things sit for 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what case you're dealing with. If it's navicular, lax tendons, low heel, long toe. Then you take it off and go back to your corrective trimming and shoeing. What we're trying to do is get all the inflammation out of the soft tissue damage that's been done, or if we're trying to regrow the heels and let the toes get wore off, that can take just a hair longer, so you can be on for as long as 6 to 8 weeks. That's it. Okay. Okay, and once it's on too, you want to have the horse stand quietly for about 15 minutes afterward. You just don't want to turn him loose because we're still waiting for the epoxy to set up, and so you have to wait for it to cure at 10 to 13 minutes. Once it's cured, then you can want to keep him in a confined area, but not a stall, like a small paddock or a round pen, something like that, while the healing process is happening for that 15 to 30 days. If there's any questions,